Coming up next on CHGO Cubs, baseball is back right now. That's the good news. The bad news, one key prospect is hurt. Another key prospect is DFA'd. Plus, the games start today with Robot CHGO next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast, and it is February 20th. It is sunny, and yes, baseball is back. Spring training. Cactus League games officially start today for the Cubs. Cubs and Dodgers out in Arizona. We'll do a live watch-along if anybody wants to watch with us. In the second half of the show, game starts around 2 o'clock. For everybody that's listening to this in podcast form, make sure you go and subscribe to CHGO Sports YouTube page, and then give us a shot that way too sometime if you haven't tried it out. It's great to be in the live YouTube chat. We communicate with all the fans, the sickos, as we like to call them there, the diehards, and we have a good time throughout the show.
Well, and importantly, too, today we are live because it is a watch-along. Barb usually asks, are we live? We are live.
We are 100% live. By the way, the watch along includes that Hooters just dropped off a bunch of wings, and I was stuffing my face with wings not more than 3 minutes ago. So if you see a little meat in my teeth, that's what it is.
I'm a little hangry because I got caught in traffic, so I haven't got to eat yet.
Honey teriyaki. Wow. Wow.
We'll be pushing.
Hadn't tried that before. That's good.
We'll be shoving chicken into my face after the show.
Oh, no, or just during the watch along. Go, take a little stop over there.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about the robot umps. They're going to be part of this. Robot umps, one of 7 games the Cubs will play this spring with the ABS, the robot umps, automatic balls and strikes. So that's all the good news. Here's the bad news. The Cubs DFA'd a guy that was just one of their former prospects. Alexander Canario DFA'd today as the Cubs make room on their roster for Justin Turner. Turner's there. He's in uniform. He's in Arizona. That's all great. Alexander Canario, we were wondering where he's going to fit into this team. Here's a guy that just 3 years ago hit 37 home runs in a minor league season between A-ball plus to AA to AAA, 37 home runs. We were told he was the most powerful guy, one of the most athletic guys in the farm system. Got a brief opportunity last year, but Cody, now, once again, we've seen a prospect that was promising, potentially slipping away for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be shocked if they don't get something in a trade for him over the next week.
It'll be criminal if they don't.
Right.
Then it would fall in line with what happened with Brendan Davis, basically, right?
Again, they'll get something. But the point is that they could have moved him earlier. They could have moved him a year ago. When you have all these outfield prospects, you had Kevin Alcantara, you have Owen Caissie, you got hell, I'm losing count. Like Seiya Suzuki is your 4th outfielder, but he's going to DH this year, right? You are loaded in the outfield in this organization, and my biggest thing about this entire thing is it's just like Mervis, it's just like Nelson Velasquez, it's just like credit to Greg Huss, good friend of the program, Michael Arias. It's just like so many other guys who you just did nothing with. You're not doing anything with them, and they touted these guys to us. And I'm just very confused. Do I think we're going to be talking about, we let Alexander Canario go in 3 months? I do not think we will be sitting here looking in hindsight, because the Cubs are going to go into 2025 with arguably the best outfield in all of baseball, right? If not the best, top five.
Could have 3 Gold Gloves out there.
Yes, and it's not just Gold Gloves. You have Kyle Tucker and you have Ian Happ, who's been awesome for the last 3 years, all right? And you have Seiya Suzuki as your 4th outfielder, who will most likely be DHing more often than not. And you have Kevin Alcantara, who's running for backup center field right now. So on one hand, yes, you have a lot of depth in the outfield right now, and a lot of good depth, and a lot of highly touted players. And the Cubs clearly like Kevin Alcantara and Owen Caissie more than Alexander Canario. We've known this for a while, though. Like, why didn't you move him earlier? I do not care that we DFA'd him today. I care that we didn't move him earlier when his value was actually there. They're going to get something for him. They'll probably get some reliever that has some quirky thing that the nerds at 1060 West Addison like. But, like, they could have got more for him a year ago, or coming off the 37 home run season that you mentioned in the minor leagues.
37 homers. That's a thing.
Well,
right.
So do you remember yesterday when you trolled us a bit? Or was that 2 days ago you trolled us a bit? I'm going to pour salt into Cody's wound, so just I'm preparing
a little salt.
Okay.
Thank you.
As long as it's before some of those Hooters wings.
First of all, what was it, 30 years ago where the White Sox just let Sammy Sosa go to the other side of town because of George Bell? As a fan of a team that has plays high atop of the waiver market, you're going to love Penn Murphy. He's very quirky. He was a waiver pickup from Seattle. He throws very weird from the right side with a low arm angle. So I think Penn Murphy for Alexander Canario sounds great to this White Sox fan.
Listen, the Canario part is he's only going to be 25 this May. Now, it's very easy to look and say after he hit the 37 home runs, he had the accident, the freak accident running in the Dominican League, fractures his foot, or was it ankle?
I want to say
it was his left ankle, and he dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah.
I mean, right at that point, you were starting to talk about this guy needs to get to the major leagues.
Yeah.
He had pushed his way to AAA. It was the 37 home run season, and then you have the bad luck of that. Frankly, just looking at his stats, never quite been the same since, right? Like, he got the shot at, I believe, 21 games last year for the Cubs. Didn't have a huge impact. He had an opportunity, but that's a small sample size.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they may regret this. And Gary asked in the live YouTube chat a good question, because the other big story today, prospect-wise, is that Owen Caissie has been shut down because he's got groin pain, and he had off-season core surgery. So if Caissie's being shut down, why not give that opportunity to Canario right now? There isn't anybody else you thought you could have moved on from? I don't have a name for you. I'm not picking a guy where I can say this guy should be the guy. But Canario, we were just talking about at the beginning of the week. He's trying to learn first base. I know. They got Justin Turner. I know. But the guy hit 37 home runs.
I could give you like 3 or 4 names right now on the Cubs 40-man that I would have cut before Alexander Canario. You could have cut John Birdie because you have a replacement in John Birdie in Nicky Lopez. You know who's worse than John Birdie and I think Nicky Lopez? Vidal Brujan, who's also on the 40-man. Is Gage Workman going to be that interesting that you have to even keep him on the team? I mean, he was a 40-man cast-off and a fifth Rule 5 pick for this team. So I mean, like, there was plenty of options than Alexander Canario. I mean, especially you look at his major league stats, he's got like, I think an 857 OPS in his like 21 at-bats. 5 of his 12 hits are extra base hits. And on top of that, you see what he just did in the Dominican Winter League. He didn't do that the year before. He went back and he hit, I think, 7 extra base hits on 24 hits. Like, he just went there and dominated. It's a weird cut. John Birdie could have been easily replaceable.
I don't know. Disagree with any of that.
I don't know if John Birdie would have been a guy, because you have to remember Nico Horner and the injury status with him, which is still up in the air right now.
And Shaw's working his way back. They say he looks
I'm not
great
necessarily
right now.
disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that
that's
there
why
are they
guys.
kept Birdie.
There are other guys.
Now Brujan.
Naperville Nicky plays a beautiful second base.
Sean.
Just what? I'm not even messing with you. I'm being dead serious.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Legend.
I will agree with you about Brujan, right? And Gage Workman. Gage Workman, like they barely have any depth at third base. He grades out as a really good defensive third baseman according to Fangraphs. So maybe that's why. But this is like we're grasping for straws for all four of these guys, right? So I don't even necessarily disagree with what you're saying, Sean. The Canario thing, again, to me, what pisses me off the most is that, yeah, they'll get what Sean said, something like that, and you could have got more for him a year ago, a year and a half ago. You know what I mean? And instead, now you're going to get pennies. And this can become a trend with this organization. Mervis, Arias,
Brendan Davis.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll say it again.
Brendan Davis is different because of injuries, like consistent injuries.
I think they are connecting the dots to the injury to Canario, potentially, maybe not being the same player moving forward as he was before that. Now, I don't disagree with some other people. By the way, somebody said, I think it was Ron in the chat said, what about Killian? By the way, this is the other guy from the Chris Bryant trade, Canario and Killian.
Yeah.
That's your return. So right now, it doesn't look like a whole lot. I wish him luck. I hope he goes and has a nice career somewhere. I hope he's not done. And I hope the injury isn't the end of his story. You know, he's played baseball, as Sean said. There's been some promise. But 21 games isn't that's not a ton of Major League Baseball evaluation right there.
I'll say this. All right. This is more of a, you want to spin it with your rose-colored glasses. I don't necessarily agree with this, but this is the spin for me. All right. Sean mentioned those 21 games. All right. Yeah, he had like 5 or 6 extra base hits. He also had a K rate of like 40%. Okay. So he looked outmatched in his opportunity with the Cubs at the Major League level. Was it a long enough opportunity? No. So those two things are true, and I think those are two things you can look at and say, okay, the Cubs, they stopped playing him because he couldn't stop striking out, the whiffs, all those things. But yes, he has immense power. We saw him hit a couple tanks at Wrigley in his time in second half of 2023, and he might have hit one last year. I don't remember. So like I think the talent, you hit 37 bombs in AAA 2 years ago. It's not something you just throw to the side, right? So again, I'm just more frustrated by the fact that they didn't move him earlier when you could have got more. I do view him more of like a Nelson Velasquez, who, sure, he had a hot second half with the Royals a few years ago. He found himself back in AAA this past season. He's been a 4A player for the Royals for the most part, right? I don't know if Canario is going to be like that, but that's kind of how I've viewed him over the last year or so. So I'm just more upset that you didn't capitalize on getting something back earlier. Now you're going to get barely anything. And we've known the same thing this entire time, that they view Alcantara, Caissie, all these other dudes ahead of him. Why didn't you move him earlier? It's a good sign. It is a good sign that we're slightly angry about guys that they're starting to DFA. That shows that the talent level is starting to rise in the organization again. That's good news. But as Untamed Knowledge said in the live YouTube chat just now, it's what I've been saying. Yeah, you should be concerned that at some point, you don't think at their peak you could have traded Brendan Davis and Canario for something big? Yeah, there was a rumor that that Canario would have been the frontline guy for Bieber at one point when the Cubs were talking about it. Oh, yeah.
But back when Canario was hitting 37, or when Brendan Davis, even through all the injuries, came back and was homering game after game, if you don't think they're part of your future, you can't just let these assets dissolve for nothing. Now, they might still get something for them, like you said, but it's not what they could have gotten a year ago or 2 years ago if they traded them. And now, backup plans for power. This team has always needed power. I keep saying they need more power, right? If injuries happen, two of the biggest power bats you have in your farm system, Canario DFA'd, Owen Caissie shut down. I'm a little concerned about that.
I still will push back on you a little bit on comparing it to Brendan Davis, but I understand what you're saying.
It was a gruesome injury as opposed to a slew of injuries like that.
Yeah, like if you want to go back, Brendan Davis when we launched, that was the only thing we were excited about in going into 22. We thought we'd see him midseason. We thought we'd maybe see him after the All-Star break. Instead, he struggles out the gates, gets hurt, has the back surgery, whatever, and like that. And then he never showed any form of ever getting back outside of 2 weeks last season where he hit homer after homer. Like, that's not going to increase the value in any shape or form. Could they have moved him? For what? I just think it's not apples and oranges, or I think it's apples and oranges with that. Like, I think it's more comparable to Mervis, Arias, Nelson Velasquez, stuff like that. Like, that's how I view Canario. I don't really look at it as Brennan Davis.
They have failed in two ways. They have failed to develop many of these position players that look like promising prospects and getting them to the major leagues. Mm-hmm. If it's about playing time, frankly, the last 2 years, they all should have seen lots of playing time.
Yeah.
Okay? So there was opportunity there. And they also, if they're not failing to develop them, then they are failing by holding on to them too long as assets.
Yeah.
Because sooner or later, somebody's got to go.
Throw in Luis Vasquez with that, too.
Yes.
I'm sure there's some other names I'm missing here, but
all right, we'll talk more Cubs baseball in a second. First, we got to tell you about some of our great sponsors, including breaking news that Cody will be in Arizona at Sloan Park coming up in March. Cody is going. That's right. Cody will be there along with Jared, heading out to Arizona. And I've got news for you. If you're maybe heading out on a trip to Arizona, you want to see some Cactus League games, they start this afternoon. You're like, I can't take any more of this 15 degrees. Mm-hmm. I can't take any more of the ice and the snow and the watery eyes from walking face into the wind. I got to get out to Arizona. Well, when you get there, you don't need a rental car. Waymo is an autonomous ride-hailing service that operates in the Phoenix metro area. You got to hear about them. These cars entirely drive themselves using cameras and radar. Waymo's autonomous ride-hailing service consists entirely of all-electric Jaguar I-Pace vehicles, providing a consistent zero-emission experience for their riders. 150,000 trips per week across San Francisco, L.A., and Phoenix. Waymo was the first company to serve as a fully autonomous ride with no human behind the wheel back in 2015. Now they have over 40 million miles of real-world driving experience. That's enough to drive to the moon and back 80 times. If you're heading out to Arizona for spring training, download the Waymo One app. That's WAYMO and then One, ONE app, and get ready to experience the future.
Heard they're cheaper than Ubers and Lyfts.
Don't you want to experience the future?
Yeah.
The sunshine and the future all at once?
And hey, if you're in August, or if you're in San Francisco in August when the Cubs play the Giants, August 26th, you could use it there.
Boom. Boom. All right. After the conversation we just had in the first segment, I need some Lucy. That'll calm me down a little bit, Luke. All right, it's 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco-free. The Lucy Breakers are nicotine pouches with an extra surprise. Each pouch holds a capsule that can be broken open to release extra flavor and hydration. Set yourself up with a subscription and have Lucy delivered straight to your door. Straight to your door. You don't have to go out and get it.
Beautiful.
All online. That's the Luke Stuckmeyer special, man.
And I don't like a bait and switch.
You don't like a bait and switch, and you like things being delivered straight to your door, man. Level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/CHGO and use promo code CHGO2025 to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, that's lucy.co and use code CHGO2025 to get 20% off. And here comes the fine print, Luke. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. So,
somebody in the live YouTube chat, by the way, asking about the Ass Man, Javier Assad. He did resume playing catch.
Yeah.
So that's the update on him.
Can we go to the Owen Caissie stuff?
Yeah.
Like we mentioned it.
Yeah.
So I'll give credit where it's due. Our guy, Kyle Stanley, tweeted something related to him the other day.
That's right.
About how he
kind of limped off the field.
Yeah, like I can't remember exactly what he said, but he put it out there.
I think he said he was doing some outfield drills, and all of a sudden he was walking in, and he couldn't really tell what it was, but he didn't seem right.
Right. So And so the information is that he's being completely shut down as of right now?
Being shut down with groin tightness, I believe was the term that was used. Bruce Levine was the first one to put it out that I saw this afternoon.
Sure.
Owen Caissie shut down with groin tightness, and I didn't know this. He had core surgery this winter.
Yeah, I mean, that's news to everyone.
Okay, so that's
right.
That's concerning.
Right.
And according to the setup man, it wasn't like some massive collision in the outfield. It sounds like sort of a non-contact irritation of this somehow.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, but I have stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. But it's never great when you hear about injuries and there's nothing really physically forcing that. You know what I mean? Like the guy didn't roll his ankle, which obviously caused the injury. It looked like, according to the setup man, he was just out there doing stuff, and all of a sudden he wasn't.
Yeah, he was doing some sort of drill or just activity, right? Listen, like I said, the first segment, they have a ton of outfield depth. Seiya Suzuki can play the outfield. I know it's a roller coaster ride watching him play the outfield. But I feel like if we see Seiya play the outfield this year, he'll probably be in left field over Ian Happ. Even though he has more experience in right, I just feel like Kyle Tucker is going to be playing as many games as possible out in right field because he's a Gold Glove right fielder, and we know how tough it is to play right field at Wrigley Field, right? So maybe Seiya will play more right field on the road. I don't know. But, this Caissie thing, he was probably going to start the year in AAA anyway. And if there was an injury, he'd get an opportunity. But to hear about how Alcantara has been looked at as a backup role to PCA and center,
correct.
I guess if to feel better about it as a fan, it's like, okay, well, Alcantara now, he's going to get a little bit of a longer run. And we're just talking about Canario being, not really getting that opportunity. I don't know if I should expect Alcantara to start, or not to start, but to just be on the opening day roster, because I think they do value in a guy getting everyday at bats, and we know how his value to, like, as far as a prospect right now. I don't know how they view that, but it just goes to show you that, like, sometimes this type of stuff happens, and it's a good thing they have a lot of outfield depth. But man, like, why is it? It's not even been a week, Luke, and guys are like, first it's Assad, then it's Matt Shaw. Now we already got the Nico thing. Like, what are we doing at Sloan Park?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I would just
let me be a meatball for 2 seconds. Like, I can't fathom, like, what are we doing at Sloan Park in the backfields where all these dudes are getting hurt, man?
You better just
haven't even played games yet.
You better just hope this isn't serious, and that if it's just precautionary, and they're trying to be overly cautious with this, and he probably wasn't going to make the opening day roster because Tucker, yada yada yada. That's all okay. If it's just going to be a slower start, that's okay. If you start talking about this injury is an actual problem and it's related to core surgery, or it might really delay his start to the season, or worse, boy, worst case scenario, Caissie's one of your top trade prospects as well, right? Like, I used to think Canario would be someone nice to throw in a deal. I used to think, listen, if they don't have room for Caissie, if you really think you were keeping Tucker, which I don't know, seems unlikely, but okay, then this is a guy that teams would be asking about, a left-handed bat with power.
Yeah.
And so either way, it's just not a good thing for the Cubs right now. So you hope they're just being overly cautious with this, and they're like, you know what? Let's give it 10 days of not doing anything, and let's go back. Maybe we pushed it a little too far. I don't like the way the setup man was describing that he saw him come off the field, and there was nothing like, oh, he collided in center with Alcantara. Doesn't sound like that was the case. So hoping to get an update from the Cubs at some point on this, but it's obviously not the best of news.
Right. And the Canario stuff, to kind of end it, it was interesting that they were trying to get him reps at first base.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they saw maybe they watched it enough and they're like, this guy ain't going to be able to do this. I don't know. But to Sean's point that he made in the first segment, they certainly could have moved other guys off the roster.
Well, now you know what I watch is there's only two things that were possible there with that Canario working out at first base. Some people freaked out and were like, oh, he's the backup. That might be great. And we said, well, that could be true. Or I mentioned that day, I said, they may have been thinking about this already, thinking that Turner's that's a done deal. It's going to happen. And they may be saying to themselves, we want to get him some work so that if we do DFA him and potentially find a suitor for him, we can say, he was working out at first base too. And we see he looked pretty good there. We can show you some video. He worked out at first base. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
like
what you mean.
That's starting to seem like the more likely scenario than it was, hey, he could be Bush's backup. By the way, Bush is the only everyday regular that's supposed to play in this first game against the Dodgers. Yeah. So it's mostly going to be
they already have the lineup out.
Yeah, it's mostly minor leaguers that you're going to see playing in the game today, which starts at 2:00. But Bush was interviewed. Marquee had the interview. They put it on their Twitter page, and he was just talking about, like, this is a good team, right? He likes the additions they've made, both from a clubhouse standpoint and from a talent and experience and pelts on the wall standpoint. And so, but he's a guy, Bush, when you look at this, I've said before, I don't consider him a rookie, but I certainly don't consider him a proven commodity at this point yet either. One season in baseball, as good as it might be or as bad as it might be, does not give you the answer on what a player is. Sure. Many times. Many times.
A lot of guys, no doubt.
So I hope that, he continues this rise, because if he does, the Cubs have a really cheap and good answer at first base, and defensively he was spectacular last year, way better than I ever thought he was going to get. So we'll see what. I'm glad he's playing in as many games, hopefully, as possible this spring.
Yeah. The lineup, I tweeted from CHGO Cubs earlier this morning. Brujan leading off, and interestingly, playing center field.
I'm trying to find out. Yeah, well, he's supposed to be very versatile.
Yeah.
That is one thing. He, like, almost no position he can't play.
Right. So Brujan in center, Bush at first, Ballesteros DHing, batting third, Alcantara in right field, Nicky Lopez at shortstop, Reese McGuire at catcher, and Christian Franklin in left field, and then Gage Workman at third, and Triantos at second base, Cody Petit starting. I find it interesting that McGuire is going to be catching, Ballesteros is DHing. I wonder how much they're going to get Ballesteros catching this spring. Like, that's a storyline to follow. And I tweeted this earlier that I was a real sicko because I'm intrigued to see what Gage Workman does, but that's more because the Cubs are putting me through this process more so than my interest. Yeah, there's a lot of guys here to pay attention to, and one game isn't going to tell a story. But
that Bush video is ready if you do want to go to it.
Yeah, let's hear. This was from Mark Bush this morning, talking about where the Cubs are at as they enter their first Cactus League game of the season this afternoon.
Yeah, I've enjoyed them. I think we have a really good team, a really exciting team. Adding a guy like Tucker, Pressig, JT, guys, older guys, and then you got a lot of guys who are coming in, looking, to kind of make a name for themselves in a way. It's exciting. It's exciting for sure. And today, just day by day, got to keep it simple, day by day, and just focusing on getting better each day and trying to win as many games.
So Cubs and Dodgers getting ready to play. We'll see Yamamoto, I believe, on the mound for the Dodgers. So we'll get some interesting matchups out of that. It's Cactus League, and I know you don't want to put too much into it, right? Because it's just game. Well, and guys are working on stuff. Like, pitchers are working on stuff, but it's baseball in the sunshine.
Yeah, right.
And it's the Dodgers against the Cubs.
I thought Craig Counsell had a
watch along with us.
Craig Counsell had a funny quote yesterday.
I saw this.
Where he said they're talking about
when we're saying
the game
like
tomorrow. He said
fun for an hour. Or
yeah, he's like
that.
Spring training games have that great energy. That first hour is like is how I like to say it. But he pushed down a lot about how they go to Japan in 20 days 19 as of now.
Right.
And so, like, these games, I think in this particular season or in this particular spring training, I'm not saying you got to go all out and try to win. I'm saying, like, guys need to take these at-bats seriously. Guys need to just, the pitchers, not only do you need to just be healthy, we might as well bubble wrap around this entire roster the way things are going right now, but I am taking a little bit more interest in some of these games and how guys are performing because they play games, 2 games that matter in less than 20 days. And health matters, and so does a lot of other stuff related to how guys are performing and how they're going to make these roster decisions. So,
all right, Poteet versus Yamamoto coming up. We'll be watching it and talking Cubs baseball while the start of the first Cactus League game of the season begins here in just a couple of minutes. First, Cody's going to tell us about one of our great sponsors.
Yeah, Cornbread Hemp. It's America's first ever USDA organic CBD company, Luke. Their mission is to improve your quality of life with the highest quality hemp. Just right up your alley, Luke. Life's been a little crazy lately. You got 2 kids at home. You're probably really stressed. Got to drive all the way in from Arlington Heights to here every day.
Stress.
You're stressed, man.
Now I'm stressed just thinking about the stress.
And one thing that could help you unwind is Cornbread Hemp's CBD gummies. Have you been looking for a natural way to relieve aches and discomfort? I'm not saying your age, Luke, but I'm sure you have experienced some aches and discomfort. The CBD gummies have Cornbread Hemp are formulated to work with your body, Luke. It's not against you. It's for you. I promise you. All right. Mm-hmm. It's not as young as I'm not as young as I once was, but I care a lot about maintaining my physical and mental wellness. Cornbread Hemp's CBD gummies are a huge piece of my wellness. It can help you too, Luke.
Yeah. Well, each one of us gets older every day.
Yes.
It's a crazy thing.
Fact.
Yep. The next day, you're always older than you were the day before.
Right. I've personally tried them, and they really do. I honestly feel like I should be, popping one after a Cubs loss. It'll help me calm down. Maybe not during the show, but after the show for post games this summer. Okay. Right now, they're offering CHGO listeners 30% off your first order. Just visit cornbreadhemp.com/CHGO and use promo code CHGO at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for 30% off your first order. 30% off, Luke.
That's a great deal.
That's the good life, man.
Hey, guys, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. The curation makes it easier to find value for tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever you're looking for. I love the all-in pricing. You just check it out. And also the seat views. They got the panoramic view from where your seat would be, so you're not stuck behind a pole that you weren't expecting to be there. Lowest price guarantee or Game Time credits you 110% of the difference. Game Time, they back it all up. They deliver it on time and take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Boy, this could come in handy for some of those cold games in April. $20 off. Some of those tickets you basically be going for free if you get the right tickets, right?
Yeah.
Last minute. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem with the code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. The first Friday of the season will be a Friday 120 Club.
Yeah.
Save that Game Time, baby, and use it right then and there. And you can go with Braggs and Cody, and I'm planning on being there. We'll be all bundled up. You want to take your iPad back? Is that what you're?
Yeah, we're good, man.
He's coming back for his iPad. Braggs has been over there just slathering himself in Hooters wings and sauce for like the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Braggs, did you see what the Brewers owner said yesterday?
You're not going to want to comment on this. You're not going to want to comment on this for legal reasons.
Braggs, come over here.
Greg Braggs, go ahead. Go over to where Sean is at. Now, remember, Greg had both ACLs blown out by the escalator incident. He basically said, is it really my job to win a World Series, actually, or is it my job to provide entertainment and family experience? excitement at the ballpark for our fans. And I said, does that include almost nearly dying on one of your escalators? You might want to worry about that as well as much as winning a World Series, sir.
Yeah.
Because I saw the blood. I saw the fear in the eyes. I saw the terror in your face. I saw the frozen pretzels trying to cool down 2 shredded knees afterwards. And that didn't look like a family experience to me.
So egomaniac Greg Braggs needs to have his face on camera.
Yeah. Well, put a face with the beautiful voice. Right?
Sure, right.
And Sean, too.
Yeah.
Sean's doing a great job.
By the way, you got a little Hooters teriyaki sauce right on your cheek there. No, but you looked. No, but he did look.
Yeah. So what is
I would have been able to smell
So
it.
what is the question,
You would have cleaned
Luke?
for him.
Is there a question?
How
here?
do you feel
How do you
about
feel
the
about
Brewers
his-
owner's comments?
He said he's not, it seemed as though he was saying basically, for lack of a better word, I'm not worried. I don't have to win World Series. I'm here to provide a family experience and entertainment.
if that entertainment includes terrifying
that's right.
your patrons, then you're doing a bang-up job.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
And,
what I said. And he's doing a great job
surgery.
of not winning a World Series, too. He's winning on both accounts.
he's
I guess
doing a
I'm
great
wrong.
job.
He's very successful.
Man of his word. And I'm 2 weeks away from the next surgery. 2 weeks from today.
Two weeks from today.
But he'll be ready for
Yeah, riding the escalators there was like it was more terrifying than any roller coaster I've ever been on.
All right.
Anyways,
Shout out to Braggs for joining us for 2 minutes.
thanks, Braggs. We're 3
the
pitches
game-
in.
Yeah, we're 3 pitches into spring training. Baseball is back. Brujan at the plate here.
Against Yamamoto.
And he strikes
And
out.
we start the season with a strikeout.
Season's
But hey,
over.
at least we were swinging.
Hey,
Season's
it's not
over.
like it's a Cody Poteet, all right? Yamamoto got paid $325 million.
That's
So.
Yamamoto
Give him
should have
a
been a
break.
Cub.
Yeah.
We could have had Shota and Yamamoto, just like they now have Roki.
You're
Two
right.
of the 3 would have been nice.
What a yeah.
2 of the 3 would have been nice. Oh, look at that. Mookie Betts playing short.
I do kind of dig these Dodgers unis that they're wearing.
I mean, here
The dark
I will
blue?
say this about the Dodgers. The Dodgers and Cubs have classic uniforms.
yeah.
Dodgers
I hate that they're both wearing blue.
I do
though,
too,
right
but the
now.
Dodgers will always be a classic uniform. Now, the reason that we have the ABS, the robot umps for this game, is that it's a dual shared facility. So every facility in Florida
All right, nice little
cancel the
opposite
post game
field.
show. There's no hitter.
Yeah.
It's
There you
gone.
go.
Bush with a hit. He's
I
batting
like-
1,000.
I like that he went opposite field there.
Oh, look who's
Hey,
playing
David
first.
Bodie's
David
at first.
Bodie at first for the Dodgers. The Bodie game.
The Bodie game.
So yeah, if you're talking about the robot umps, which I think is super interesting to watch this spring in minor league baseball, it's been very successful. It could be coming to Major League Baseball on a regular basis as early as next season. This spring, the Grapefruit League games in Florida, every ballpark has it. Okay, but in Arizona, it's just the combined locations. So the Cubs don't have it at Sloan Park because, we're cool enough that we have our own stadium and our own facility. But the Dodgers share with the White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there. So the White Sox will have it at their games. The Dodgers will have it at their games. The Mariners, I think, share with the Padres. The Royals share with the Rangers,
I
maybe.
want to say it's the
A
Rangers.
bunch of them share out there, but not all.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be in every game. The Cubs will just have it for 7 of their Cactus League games this spring, and this is one of them. Now we got Mo Baller against Yamamoto. This is one of the first times I've really seen Mo Baller at the plate.
Nice
I'm
little,
not going to lie.
nice
Mark
little,
Pryor.
a nice little peek at Mark Pryor
Seats taken.
with the salt and pepper beard.
Mo Baller's got a solid lower half.
That's one way to say it,
Right?
Luke. Yeah.
A solid
His
lower half.
swing, Ballesteros' swing is fun. Oh,
That's a lazy
Popped
fly
it
ball,
up.
but in Arizona, that could be a double because the sky is so high.
obviously I don't watch a lot of Dodger minor league games, but I kind of dig this spring training ballpark they play at. I didn't get to go to this one last year.
Wouldn't it be funny?
Thank you. It's also the White Sox.
Right.
I know you didn't know that, so thank you for giving the White Sox a
I
compliment.
just said that.
No, but
Luke
I don't think
said
he
it,
re-
and
I don't think he
probably
realized
he
it.
wasn't listening.
Yeah, I
that's
wasn't
that's all
listening,
right.
yeah. It is nice.
Wouldn't
He's
it
too
be-
busy dreaming about Michael Bush.
Wouldn't it be sort of funny if
Yeah.
the loaded Dodgers, who have been adding free agents like there's no limit to their money, right? Like just giving everybody whatever they want. You want 3 relievers? Here's the 3 top guys. You want Roki? Okay, here's Roki. You know, on and on and on. Wouldn't it be funny, and now we get Alcantara going against Yamamoto, but wouldn't it be funny if David Bodie can make their opening day roster, but he couldn't make the Cubs opening day roster last year?
Yeah, Alcantara
it's just about fit sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. They
first and third.
They haven't played him first, so like I don't know what their depth at first.
Well, now we know why they got rid of Canario. Because we just saw that. I mean, he does look like, I mean, he's so tall and lanky, but you can just tell he's so athletic.
Yeah.
Right?
I think.
I mean,
when I've talked about Alcantara with people like in my TikTok lives or on social in general, it's like I think the ceiling for Alcantara is higher than any outfield prospect they have, but I also feel like the floor is lower too. Like this guy is such a wild card, I think. But you see the makeup of him and you're like, this guy is a Major League Baseball player. So
I always like that type of player. He's either going to make it big or he is not going to make it. Right. Now, Sean's favorite player, Nicky Lopez, with a chance to drive in a run here, first and third, in the most important baseball game being played today.
And that's exactly where you don't want Nicky Lopez, is up with runners on scoring position. Playing second base, sure.
Bobby Blanco says Birdie has plenty of games at center. He can back up. That's why you sign a super utility guy. Becky wanted Killian to go. Ron's mad that Talkman's gone to the south side.
Oh, man. What
do you think of
Nicky Lopez? He's for sure trying to earn a roster spot, right? He's on a minor league deal. So he's out here trying to win, trying to play as best he possibly can, right?
I mean, he's just trying to make it, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's even with the Cubs. It's if he does all right in Iowa or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, he's auditioning to be someone's backup second baseman.
Right.
I mean, he
maybe
did a really
good
good job.
Again.
Yeah. I think that would have already happened. I think he's probably looking for someone a little bit more competitive.
Yeah.
But I mean, with what are you?
He might be their third or fourth best player. I've seen that roster.
The Cubs or the Sox?
The Sox.
Yeah, well, I think he's been there, done that.
Yeah.
And I think it was horrible.
Right.
Because the team's terrible. I don't know if did you miss the 121 losses?
No, I caught it.
The Cubs gave him 4.
That's right. 4 the 120.
Lopez,
Here are the rules. Here are the rules. 2 challenges per team. Successful challenges are retained by team. Only the batter, pitcher, or catcher can challenge. Assistance from the dugout or elsewhere not permitted will result in an umpire denying the challenge. By the way, that's one of the reasons Major League Baseball is talking. That's a fair ball.
Fair?
Come on. Give us the replay. Challenge that. That is one of the reasons where you're talking about the official balls and strikes challenge. One of the reasons why baseball doesn't want to show the balls and strikes box on televisions at the ballpark. They don't know what they're going to do with it because they're concerned that fans will be watching it and yelling to players and fans like, you got to review it. It was a ball. Like, they don't want that. They don't want cheating. They don't want to open it up to cheating, but it's inevitable that it's going to be part of the game soon, and I'm all for it.
2026, I think, is where they're aiming. But
have you looked at what games you're going to see?
I haven't looked at the schedule, but I'll be there the 6th through the 9th.
Right. So I'm wondering if you're going to get one against the White Sox at Camelback Ranch where you'd have that going on at the ballpark and you could take your Waymo autonomous drive there.
Yeah.
And you could be future versus future. Like the only thing you could do better than that is like if you sent the content back and it was all done by AI.
Sure.
AI Cody.
Cody gets to see on Thursday, March 6th, the Cubs versus the Kansas City Royals.
Okay.
At the Royals. That's at 7:05.
Oh, yeah. Going out to surprise.
You get to go to Camelback Ranch and see the Cubs play the Sox.
There you go.
On the 7th. Then, so it's at Sloan. I'm sorry. Okay. The Kansas City game on the 6th is at Sloan. The game on the 7th is at Camelback against the Sox. Then 2 at Sloan versus Seattle and San Francisco.
Okay. So one of them will have the automated.
Dude,
the Sox game.
Seattle. You got Miles Mastrobuoni's card out.
I do.
You're going to be able to see Miles Mastrobuoni. Let's go.
Wow. You want content. Cody is going to hunt down Mastrobuoni.
I'm going to hunt him down.
And you're going to make him sign your arm or something.
I'm still on the hunt for a Miles Mastroboni jersey. I want to wear it to Friday 120 clubs. And I was not going to give the Cubs $150 at Cubs.
That's crazy, $150.
I was not going to give Tom $150 for a bit, okay? But
have they solved the whole jersey thing this year now?
It seems like
Is that finally been solved?
So the names are bigger on the back.
I saw that part,
but
yes.
apparently the pants are still
see-through?
the pants are still
the pants are still see-through because they found out that actually helped audiences a little bit. That improved the audience. The half-naked players actually helped out a little bit.
The ladies looking at Ian Happ in left field.
Maybe not even just the ladies.
There was a 0.01% increase in women watching.
What did
David
you say,
Bodie
Sean?
batting sixth in this lineup.
It wasn't.
What irrelevant thing did you say, Sean? I'm sorry.
Somebody in the comments already told me to shut up. They said, "Oh, they fired Ryan for this guy," so that's good.
Sean does the White Sox, and he's producing. He's a multi-talented person, and we miss Ryan.
Cody Petit now, the guy who came back in the Bellinger trade. I'm wishing him well because his name's Cody.
So real quick, in the top of the first, what happened? Because it was first and third. Lopez seemingly hit a ball that could have been fair.
It was a foul ball.
But then what happened at the end?
He struck out.
So 2 of the 3 were strikeouts. Here's Mookie Betts, 3-time World Series champion. And I don't remember where we put him in our shortstop ranking. Was it 2? Did we
top 3?
Did we go Lindor then Betts, or did we go Betts then Lindor?
I think we might have put Ellie ahead of him, but I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Man, what a player that he can be that elite at all of those positions.
Yeah.
Like, it's great that Nico had a nice season at short and then moved to second. But this guy plays outfield at a Gold Glove level. He doesn't miss a beat. He plays second. He plays short.
He's one of the few players in the league that I feel like puts his personality out there. He's willing to go on a lot of different podcasts and show who he is and talk about the game and stuff like that.
He had the goofballs in New York that have now been banned from baseball grab his arm in the World Series. I mean, there's a guy, if he, when he was potentially being traded from Boston, how do you not give everything you've got? If you have anything in the system, give it up for Mookie Betts in his prime.
Yeah. Well, a leadoff walk. The Cody Petit era is off to a great start, guys. Max Muncy, this guy has killed the Cubs. This guy hits tanks. This is the guy that I view what Michael Busch could be. Now, last year, his numbers are up on the screen right now. 230, 215 homers, but he was hurt for half the year. Had an 850 OPS, though. Like,
two-time All-Star.
Don't you just look at Muncy in the batter's box?
Michael Busch is a two-time All-Star. You'll be happy with that.
Like he only had 240 at-bats, but he had a 3 WAR. 3 B WAR.
No, he was a great player. And he's one of those guys kind of similar to Justin Turner. They just picked up off the street and they kind of transformed. I don't know. Like of their stacked team, I don't feel like anyone talks about Muncy enough. But dude hits tanks.
Listen, we can't be there today. Oh, here we go. Here's a challenge. Here's the ABS challenge. It was a strike.
Wow. And he challenged it? Wow.
There's the challenge, guys. Everybody that's in the live YouTube chat, I saw Michael Field saying, if you've been to a game in the minor leagues and you've seen it, it's awesome.
And just throw it out there, because you said first challenge. Was it called a strike or was it called a ball? Give it a little bit more color here.
I don't know what it was called on the field because I wasn't paying attention. The system said it was a strike.
Yeah.
Did it say overturned? Did it say overturned?
No.
So
it was confirmed, you think?
So the Dodgers challenged it.
We don't have audio. That's okay. A little bit of the problem.
Well, we're trying to decipher. We can use our big brains here. I'm assuming the Dodgers challenged it. It was called a strike, and then it was confirmed a strike.
Cody Petit bearing down now against Max Muncy.
William Workman saying Petit challenged it, called a ball, reviewed a strike, overturned.
Okay.
So it was overturned.
Okay. What do you think of Petit right now, like the makeup and stuff, Luke? Because let's be real, we haven't watched any Cody Petit highlights with the Yankees.
I don't know. I'm curious to watch him this spring, right? Like, that's a guy that you're not sure. He just struck out Max Muncy looking. Take that challenge. Like the old ABS there.
Yeah.
I like that. I know it's called ABS, but isn't anybody over 50 like me? Aren't we always thinking anti-lock brakes?
Oh, I thought IBS.
It's called ABS, right?
Right. No, but I'm thinking like I think of IBS, like what the
irritable bowel.
Yeah, I think of irritable bowel syndrome.
That too. There may be times where there's a call that's so controversial you're watching, you may get IBS from the ABS.
Pre-ABS, I had IBS.
You can be so worried about what the computer is going to show that irritable bowel.
Yeah.
The good news is this happens very quickly. So if you got to go, you got to go.
Do you want to do your top 100 players? You can finally get rid of this.
No, I think we should save that.
You just want to keep pushing it off?
Save it for next week.
Like Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon on.
I don't know. We can if you want.
You're telling me no. So
we're 2 outs away from a full inning. You know.
Jeez, you forget they have Gonsolin. Their starting rotation is just Kershaw's not even factored in as a guy.
Yeah. Well, at this point in his career, it's not surprising.
Well, I know
Kershaw has trended down the last couple of years. He's transformed himself a little bit. He's also been hurt a lot.
By the way, we'll be doing some watch-alongs throughout the season, and that's always fun.
Yeah.
Did they clear out all the Hooters wings already?
I hope not, because I haven't had any.
Did Carm and Braggs polish off all of those wings? Because I'm looking over there, and
how can you see it?
I can see through the chair over there. It doesn't look like there's trays of wings anymore.
You got a 2-2 count here.
Oh, I can see it now, yeah.
Ooh, ground ball double play.
Oh, Poteet.
Gage Workman.
Lock him in.
Gage Workman with a nice little
see
play
that?
at third.
Wondering if Workman can play?
Oh.
He's a big guy, huh?
I got to get you those binoculars. Yeah, there's a ton of wings over there.
Hey, it's one play, but like I like that play from Gage Workman. He
Nice
made
and
that look
clean.
real
I like
smooth.
Poteet.
Yeah. Poteet, you know, whatever.
Boom.
Nice little ground ball.
Is that it for him? One inning? You move somebody else in there for an inning now?
Sure. I don't know. All right, baseball's back.
Baseball's back.
No one we made it through an inning without misery.
I know what we could show. Sean, did you have the Darren Ravel tweet that I had out there?
Oh, yeah.
Of course I don't have that.
Okay. Will you work on that? Look at it real quick. You can just pull up Darren Ravel's Twitter real quick. They've got something they're going to have at Sloan Park. He revealed it because, I don't know, he's got inside info and all that stuff. An item that I want. Cody's got to do multiple things. Number one, he's going to have to Waymo the whole time he's there. Right?
Yes.
You're going to Waymo.
It's on the screen.
You need the automated. The Cubs at Sloan Park have unveiled deep-fried pork shanks with waffle fries, Carolina Gold barbecue mayo, and scallions in a souvenir Cubs helmet. So it's like the little helmets that you get at Dairy Queen. You get the Sundays in, or you get them at the ballpark, you know, the little plastic helmets. But this has 2 pork shanks, so you got the bones coming out. You got the pork on it. And I don't know if I wonder if I could get them without the barbecue mayo, but it's probably more like.
Yeah, no.
Because it's barbecue flavor, I might be okay with it.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list. I actually replied to that tweet and said challenge accepted.
I mean, it looks good.
So, yeah, no. I can't wait to try it. It'll be one of the few things I'll do when I'm out there. Michael in the chat says Workman is a 70 grade defender, but he's never even played AAA yet. Might not be able to hit in AAA, let alone baseball. That's kind of like I'm with him on that. Like that's kind of like my biggest thing about him. It's like, are we getting Workman as more of like a defensive replacement type thing? Because like I don't know if anyone feels.
But is that not what Birdie and Bruhan are? I guess Birdie's like close to major league average with his bat. I think he's like 94 OPS plus, averages 100.
Bruhan was a former top prospect.
Yeah. I don't think all 3 are going to make that roster. Maybe 2 of them. So we'll see how that works out. Carter Hawkins says, Cody, get ready for the summer of Gage Workman.
I was going to say, if we're going to, now that the summer of Mike Tauchman is officially over and the summer of Mike Tauchman 2.0 is over, the summer of whom will it be this year? The player that nobody expects to be almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
Barely makes the team, but turns out to be key in some games. Who will that player? Will it be Gage Workman?
A lot of them are setting themselves up to be that type because I just have so many questions with a lot of these bench players. But Gage Workman, if he is on the opening day roster, I feel like we could be saying that.
If it's summer of, does it have to be a position player?
No, it doesn't.
I guess
maybe
in the past it has been, right?
What if it's like a reliever, like somebody that gets like? What if Luke Little comes up and just?
No, but I have high expectations.
But
for
I
Luke
do have
Little.
higher expectations for him. What if
It would have to be
okay,
summer of Cody Petit, right?
Summer of Cody Petit. He's got like 17 saves at the All-Star break.
Right.
That would be the summer of Cody Petit.
Yeah.
Yamamoto's getting 2 in there. Boy, I do like their hat. That Dodgers, the cursive D.
I'm not a fan of that hat, to be honest.
You don't?
No, I don't like it.
I think that's pretty cool.
I did a ranking of all of
Is
them.
this Workman here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gage
Workman's
Workman.
a 6'4" lefty. I think it's
he's
tough to.
He's a big dude.
Like I tweeted, I'm a real sicko for this guy today, so let's see what he's got. You're going up against Yamamoto.
Yeah, this is interesting to watch.
The thing about Workman is that like he has incredible power, but his K rates in the minor leagues are alarming. So the fact that again, he has to make the opening day roster or they lose him because he's a Rule 5 pick.
Right.
Oh, he hit it.
Opposite field.
And he almost is he gonna
Lost
be a guy
his helmet.
Is he gonna be one of those guys that loses the helmet every time?
Oh yeah, look at this.
All right, Gage Workman.
Right now here,
nice little play at third. He gets a hit. Let's go.
This guy should have been in the show Vikings or something like that. He just looks like a tall Viking, or maybe he could have been a wildling.
He's kind of giving me Thor vibes.
Right?
Yeah.
Big flowing blonde
Summer
hair.
Gage Workman.
Can't you hear?
Yeah.
Can't you hear Ron right now? Workman, tall, strapping young man, flowing blonde hair.
Oh yeah. Pat Hughes. Yeah.
Blue cleats.
Yeah.
And no helmet currently.
Yamamoto coming out.
Oh, Workman knocks the headline for tomorrow's podcast. Workman knocks Yamamoto out of game.
Yeah.
That's how it's done right there. Watch that play internationally.
Christian says Workman is already better than Madrigal.
Left-handed
He's
bat.
not wrong.
Yamamoto takes him the other way.
I like Workman's makeup. Like we've said,
Those are
that
two
he's
positives.
kind of like he kind of gives me the Patrick Wisdom type vibe, but I think he can be better if he can figure out a way to hit. But he hasn't shown enough to give us any confidence in that. So he's one of those guys that the spring training numbers will matter. So that's a fun start. So we have a couple minutes left.
William
Anything you wanna
Workman
jump
says
on?
second most famous workman in the podcast right now.
There you go.
Related or not related?
Yeah.
A Norseman. That's right, De La Cruz. He looks like a Norseman.
I love the summer of Gage Workman's in the chat right now.
Yamamoto throwing a lot of curves.
Yeah. You have to remember, too, like, Yamamoto's out there working on something. It's not like he's out there trying to do something, or it's not like he'd be out there in regular season form, right? Like, that's the thing about spring training is the results don't always matter. I think with certain players for the Cubs or whoever team you're rooting for sure, some of the results do matter, but
Evil Wax was asking, why is everybody talking about center field? Is PCA hurt? No. Bush is the only everyday player that's going to play for the Cubs today. It's just that two guys that you would have thought would have been at the very least outfield depth going into the season at the minor league system. Owen Caissie's been shut down with a groin injury after having core surgery over the winter, which we didn't know about. And Canario was just DFA'd. So the backup in center is Brujan
or Alcantara.
Yeah.
All right, so Trianto's first pitch swing and a nice little ground ball at third, and the inning is over. We're what, one through
1.5 innings.
Yeah.
Boom. We're almost there. It's been a lot of fun.
Summer of Reese McGuire.
Was that actually?
What about Theobar?
Yeah, summer of Caleb Thielbar.
Summer of Theobar.
Yeah.
Summer of Ben Cowles.
Anyway.
No, I'll keep
Don't
going.
harsh our buzz, Cody. Workman punked Yamamoto. Listen,
Birdie has played center, yeah. Birdie could be that guy. I'm just saying, like, listen, 2 of the prospects, 3 of the prospects that you've wanted to see for a long time now. Alcantara, Caissie, and Canario. Well, two of them are not an option, at least at the moment. So, I don't know. I think that's the biggest story today is that Canario was DFA'd. I do know that the Caissie injury, if it's serious, would vault over that. But just the fact that he's being shut down is not a great sign. And you're right. Credit to the setup man. He pointed it out, even if it was nothing. He's just like, I'm just letting you know he just left the field. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. All right. Well, I like
Summer of Matthew Boyd.
He's also had.
I have some expectations there.
Yeah, he was great in the playoffs for the Guardians last year. I think we all need to have put a little bit more respect on Matthew Boyd's name. I'm not saying
him.
I'm not saying he's going to be top of the rotation. I'm just saying like he has had recent success.
But
he's just got to stay on the field.
It could be
Sean.
It can't. Oh, my bad. No, but like it can't be. Yeah. Whoa, feisty.
Sorry. I know
you need some wings.
I know that
I'm just
you thought you've literally said here that like you gave Matthew Boyd $15 million. And
I'm going to bring up his salary, sure, but it's just more like summer of. I don't know if it could be a $15 million guy.
Yes,
that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
My bad.
You know they do this stupid stuff on the scoreboard. They make jokes about the player at the plate at some stadiums.
Yeah, like
I just saw Outman. I think was I believe Workman, who obviously did not get an Outman. I think it was stuck up there.
Oh,
that's
really?
my guess. Okay. Unless Altman's up now, which is possible.
All right.
Anyways, it was fun to just talk baseball, watch baseball at the same time. Corey and Brendan will have a podcast for you at 1:30 tomorrow. It's not live, but they will have that podcast for you. And we'll be back on Monday. We have Jared getting ready to go out to Arizona later in the week next week, and then Cody will be going out the following week after it was Outman at the plate.
Yes.
So they weren't making fun of him.
No.
So you can make fun of me. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast. Thanks for watching along. We will see you next week. Make sure you check out Corey and Brendan. Visit us on social media. We're out there. And don't forget, please hit the like button on your way out. Baseball's back. Give it a thumbs up. Till then, fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.